Good day, Difficat. John here. Today's topic is about basic geometry for 7th graders. So, before we go ahead to our topic, what exactly is geometry? Well, we don't want to go too technical with all the stuff here as it just makes the learning less interesting. So let's get to the point. Geometry is a branch of mathematics concerned with sizes, shapes, positions, angles, and dimensions of things. Basically, it's math with just figures and no numbers. Well, not much yet for this level. So, to make our learning more organized, we are going to divide our topic into 3 subtopics, which are the following: undefined terms, subsets of a line, and kinds of angles. Going into our first subtopic, which is undefined terms, you may ask, what exactly is undefined terms? Well, let's put this term into the perspective on a different field. In the study of English language, we first learn the basics, which is the alphabet, A, B, C, and everything else. But did we ask for the meaning of each at the very least? Well, that's basically what undefined terms are. Basically the do-re-mis of geometry. We can learn them intuitively, but we cannot define them simply because there is no point. Speaking of point, that is one of the undefined terms in geometry out of 3. Along with it is the line and the plane. So firstly, what is a point? Well, a point is a dot. But a dot is a point. See, the logic of undefined terms is coming in here. To put it simply, a point is a dot found somewhere and everywhere. A location perhaps. To name a point, we can just call it using any capital letter corresponding to the point itself. Now, when you connect 2 or more points in a straight direction, you can make a line, which is our second undefined term. A line is a set of points that extends indefinitely in straight opposite directions. Generally, naming lines can be made by using any 2 points in the line with the line symbol on the top of both letters. For example, this line is described by 2 points, which are points A and B. Therefore, we can call this line AB because it is a connection of 2 points, which are points A and B. Lastly, we have something that is called a plane. Basically, a plane is a flat surface that has no boundaries. However, we need to put some apparent boundary to actually represent it as shown in the figure. Naming this is just like naming a point. We use a capital letter. We can extend this subtopic further by discussing collinear and coplanar points, just to associate the point with both the line and the plane. So, what exactly are collinear points? To put it simply, collinear points are points on the same line. Looking at the example, we can say that points A, B, and C are all collinear, since they lie on the same line. That's basically the similar logic for coplanar points, but for planes. Coplanar points are points on the same plane. Basing off the figure, we can say that points D, E, F, and G are coplanar. H is not coplanar with any other described points in the figure. Additionally, points D, E, and F are collinear, while H is collinear with E. Now, let's move forward to our next subtopic, which is the subsets of a line. To put it simply, subsets of a line are simply cutouts of the line. Generally, it is divided into 2 subcategories, which are line segments and rays. Line segments are basically a piece of line that has endpoints in both directions. Because of that, it is finite and therefore can be measured and exactly how long it is. It has the same naming format with the line, but utilizes a different symbol to be put on top of the endpoints. Next up are rays, which are basically a combination of a line and a line segment. A ray is a line, but has an endpoint in one direction. Due to its nature, it is infinite and therefore immeasurable. Naming it is similar to both lines and line segments, with the same difference amongst them all, which is a symbol that is put on top of the corresponding point symbols. Our last subtopic is the kinds of angles. Of course, before we go on to the topic itself, we should know what an angle is. Well, an angle is a figure formed by rays touching each other's endpoint, which is then named as the angle's vertex. It is named using the two rays that make it, with the vertex in the middle of the two described points, along with an angle symbol on the left of the leftmost character. To get a better grasp of the topic, let's take a look at this figure to see exactly what happens. Ray OA and OB are connected on a common endpoint O, which is then subsequently going to be the angle AOB's vertex, according to its definition. Now, going back, what are the kinds of angles? Generally, we have 6 kinds of angles, depending on how bent the angle is. To measure how bent it is, we use a protractor, which is a device that measures the degree of an angle. The kinds of angles are called acute, right, obtuse, straight, full, and reflex. The names depend on how much bend an angle has. For example, an acute angle must have a degree between 0 and 90. Any value works as long as it is between those values. The angle would be acute. Next up is the right angle, which is an angle with an exact value of 90 degrees. The reason why it's called a right angle is because this angle is formed with similar values on both left and right when measured upright with a straight line coinciding the bottom ray and perpendicular to the upright ray. Thus, it is equal or right according to the one who named it. The third kind is the obtuse angle. An obtuse angle is any angle that is between 90 degrees and 180 degrees. Similar to acute angles, it works with any value in between those given values. The fourth kind, which is the straight angle, is just a straight line, but with endpoints on a common vertex, therefore making it technically both a line and an angle. As an angle, it should have an angle of exactly 180 degrees to be considered straight, as it is the exact value of the bentness of a straight line. The fifth kind is called the reflex angle. A reflex angle is basically any angle formed between 180 and 360. Similar with both acute and obtuse, any value works as long as it is between. The last kind is called a full angle. It is called a full angle as the value of the angle is the value of the movement of an object on a full circular motion. Due to that, the angle is exactly 360 degrees, double of the straight angle, which is logical since of course, a straight line is just basically a half rotation.